Right now. I will unmute Mr. Brett.
Yeah.
Are you there then?
Yeah, I'm here.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, thank you very much for everybody getting on today for this call. Hopefully we can keep everybody entertained and excited and positive and keep you goal oriented and dreaming. And dreaming is good. You know, seeing what the future is going to be, looking forward to what you're going to do next is absolutely positive and it's important. Now, this morning, for those who don't know, the global sales rep call, the safety advisors call is going to be in 1 hour with David Carter. It's going to be all on how to, increase recruiting in that. So just want to let everybody know that, remind you that. I want to start this morning's call off with a really simple question for everybody, and that is, what have you done so far? It's been pretty much a week since everybody's 99% slowed down or shut down. What have you done so far? What have you done as far as reading books that are going to help you? What have you done as far as setting goals? What have you done in the last week to get things rocking and rolling and to get things prepared? So, because this thing will come to an end. And those who spend the most time doing preparation right now are those who are going to benefit the most when it ends. So I want you to really think about that. What have you done so far? In fact, maybe take a piece of paper and write at the top of that in big, bold letters, what have I done so far? And then every couple of hours, every morning, you look at it and see what you've added to it and see what you've changed. And then maybe have another piece of paper, there's things I want to do before this is over. So, you start putting a little bit of a sense that, hey, I got to get this thing done now. I don't have the rest of the month or the rest of the year to get it done. For you dealers out there, I suggest pretty strongly you get a Zoom account. Now, there is a free Zoom account that you can get that only allows you up to 20 minutes talking at a time. I guess somebody's saying it's hard to hear, so hopefully we can hear it better. Just let me know if everybody can hear me. But get the Zoom account. It's a free account. The regular free one gives you 20 minutes at a time and up to 40 minutes. So it's real important. So this morning we have on this call questions of interview with Brett Granger, the #1 dealer in the world for GHS and has been consistently the #1 dealer for the last 12 months. So Brett, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Some of the people think that maybe your phone might be doing a little bit of the backing up here. You're in the car out and about. So you ready for some questions there, Big? We're going to have some real hard questions like, what is your bank account information? What bank do you deal with? What are your codes? But we're going to start off with an easy one, Brett. What year did you start in direct sales?
I started in direct sales in December of 2013. It's kind of a funny story. I went in for an interview. I got the job, obviously, and that's a big surprise. And I went in for training day one, and then I was actually working my other job at the time. I was working at Boston Pizza as a kitchen supervisor, and I worked till 2 a.m. that night. So I accidentally slept in for day two, and I called back, and surprisingly, they wanted me to come back the next week. I was super shocked.
Okay. What now? Were you personally recruited, or were you recruited from media hire?
I went in for an interview. It was a slideshow interview, and yeah, it was an interview.
It was an interview. So you were from media. Was it from an ad that you had seen on the internet, or?
Yeah, it was a job ad on Kijiji. I think it was like they were promoting that they were like a health company or something. Like I thought it was something to do with like respirators or something.
Okay.
Turns out it was a vacuum.
Okay, I think we've all been there. So how long after you started before you became a distributor?
I became a dealer or distributor in November 2016.
Okay, not a problem. Okay.
So I think that was almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years. So yeah, you definitely paid your dues. Good for you, brother. Good for you. So one question, this is from Lisa. What does a typical weekday look like for you normally?
Okay. So usually I wake up like probably at 8:15 in the morning, right before the phone call, most of the time. And first thing I do is I make my bed. I read a couple things from a couple books. Same thing every single day, except one thing, it's a little bit different. get ready for the day, and then I first thing I do is I hop in my car, I go down to the coffee shop, buy a coffee and something to eat, and then I typically go to the office. And usually what I do when I go to the office, the first thing that I do is I see how many demos we have on the board. I see who's working for the day. Or usually I'll just go into the office for the sales meeting. And depending on what's going on that day, I'll stick around or I'll leave. The last little while I've been working pin to pin. I told myself in March I was going to work pin to pin. So, and usually at some point in the day, I'll try to slip in a workout. I'll try to go to the gym. I know you can't really do that right now. I'll try to go to a meeting, and I'll typically go to the hookah lounge at probably 9 p.m. or something. And what I've been trying to do is I try to spend 2 hours at the end of the night with my son. One thing that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to read to him every single night before he goes to bed. So
Awesome. That's really, really good. Excellent. Okay, a lot of people know this, but there probably is some people on this call who don't know this. In December 2018, you were almost out of the business. In fact, you sent a text basically saying, I'm going to sell the balance of my inventory and leave. And then you recommitted. And since then, pretty well since January of the following year, you've been either number one or number two, but definitely in the top. But right now, you're number one for the year in 2019. That quick of a turnaround. What do you believe was the big difference or the change that you made?
There's a few things for that. Well, the first one is it was November actually, because I got the office in December. So I got the office. Actually, I got the office the end of November 2018 on Aaron Street. So the first thing was probably my attitude. I would say. I don't know. I was going through some stuff, and I don't know. I think it was just my attitude. I mean, I was really committed because what I did, I don't know if lots of people know this, is I tapped out both of my credit cards and I spent every last dollar I had on inventory on purpose, because I'm the type of guy, if I have too much money laying around, I get lazy, I get comfortable, and then I don't do anything. So what I did is I spent every last dollar I had on inventory. So I was kind of forced to go out and sell this inventory. So I think it was, it probably had to do with pressure. Like I put a lot of pressure on myself. That's why I put myself in positions like that on purpose. So I have to go out there and produce and make things happen. So I would say probably adding a lot of pressure on myself.
Good. Absolutely.
And I knew I was going to be a new father soon. So I was like, I better figure this thing out. If I don't figure this thing out, I'm going to suffer, and everyone's going to suffer. So
wasn't a nice alternative.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome. Okay. Now, you've done other direct sales before. What excites you the most about the OmniShield opportunity?
That's a really good question. So I'll tell you why I joined the business, and then kind of what I think. So the main reason that I joined the business, and I tell lots of people this, you probably know, the first responder program, I thought that was amazing. And also I liked how there was like like David Carter in the training videos, he recruited those two people that he was doing the appointment for, and I thought that was just genius. I thought that was genius. I thought that was awesome. Kind of funny, my first ever direct sale, my first 5 direct sales actually. The first one they actually decided to come in on the equity program. They canceled though. And then like 3-4 sales later, because I was selling air and vacuums at the time, they actually, the whole time during the demo, they're like, we'll come work for you. We'll come work for you. We'll come work for you to get this. We'll come work for you. And they're actually Filipino. And they actually finished the equity program in that other company I was in. So.
Okay. So, yeah. You love the equity program, obviously, and you love the opportunity of protecting people.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your record? What is the most units you've done in 1 month?
Okay, so that's like purchased or sold?
Combination of either one.
I don't even know what it is sold, because there's so many little bits and pieces, and you can't really just search on the AFT for just one whole month.
Okay, so what's the record you hold that you in your mind?
In my mind, well, this month will probably be the best, but September 2019, I think it was like 1223 or something. That's purchase. To be honest, I don't know what the exact number is for installed and delivered, because there's so many little bits and pieces, and it's kind of hard to.
Well, you're consistently over 1,000 units every month. There's no question about that. So 1223 is what you're going to say is your record at this point that you're trying to beat each month, and then you're going to get a new record and try to beat that one.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. If I remember correctly, your goal every week is to order what you installed the week before.
Yeah, I just replaced my inventory, yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, here's a real good personal question for you. Now that you are a father, what trait do you want little Luca to learn from you?
That's a really good question. So the first thing I would say is humility. So if anybody doesn't know what humility is, it's I didn't understand the word when I first heard it. I thought it meant like humiliate myself or something. But what it means actually is it's like a form of humbleness. So like I just think of myself, I'm just a person. I'm nothing too special. So I guess I kind of have a modest view of myself. So I hope that my son has the same thing, because I don't want him to be a spoiled little brat. So
I think you're going to have your hands full on that one. There's no question. I think Taylor's going to help a whole lot making that one spoiled. Here's a good one. What book have you read that you believe has made the biggest impact on your career?
So
I know you read a lot.
On my career, that's really difficult. Really, really difficult. I read. My goal is usually to listen or read 2 books a month. The average person reads less than 1 book a year. The top people in the world read 1 a week, I heard. So the first one is the big book. So if anybody knows what that is, it's probably the first one for me. Other than that, people probably know this. One of my favorite books ever is the book called Relentless by Tim S. Grover. I have a poster of that inside my office. So this guy trained Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, a bunch of other amazing superstar athletes in basketball. That's probably my top favorite book. It's all about mindset. Yeah, it's just all about mindset. It's just, I've listened to it probably 2 or 3 times, but I think that's made the biggest change in my career.
So that's a book you can read again and again, and you just get something out of it.
So it's like, you don't have to always like the work, but you crave the end result every time. So I don't know, it just really stands out to me because, and he talks about 3 types of people in there. So coolers, closers, and cleaners. So a cooler is like a person that will get the job done like exceptional, but if there's any kind of pressure, they'll crumble. A closer will get the job done well, with like little guidance or direction, but a cooler will just get the result every single time. Doesn't matter what you throw in front of him. Doesn't matter what the obstacles is. He'll get that result no matter what.
Fantastic. That's a good book. I hope everybody out there took that down. Relentless. Who's it by?
Tim S. Grover.
Okay, Tim S. Grover. Fantastic.
I met him.
You met him?
Yeah, when I was in Vegas a month ago. He was walking by and I chased him down.
Did you get his autograph?
No, I didn't get his autograph, no.
I would have thought you would have got his autograph tattooed. Okay. No. Who's your favorite superhero?
I don't know if I have a favorite superhero. I don't know.
That was your opportunity to say me, you know.
My favorite superhero. That is like, I have no idea. I mean, I've watched quite a bit of Marvel movies and, quite a bit of Marvel movies and like those other types of movies, but I don't know. But I'll say this, my favorite supervillain.
Why did I figure you'd say that?
And the only reason I'm saying this is because I was this for Halloween one year when I was like 5 years old. So I was Two-Face.
Okay, is anybody else out there surprised that he chose super here, villain? Okay, here's a really good question. If you had to start today in this business and you had to go work for someone else's dealerships,
Yeah.
who would it be and why?
I would go work at Brandon Stout's office because I feel like they have a really good thing going on there. I feel like they got a lot of young people, and I feel like in the next couple months here, when this thing slowed down or people start getting going here, I think he's gonna just blow that place up. I just have a feeling.
Fantastic. No, listen, I've been there a few times, and you're not wrong. That is
And
absolutely awesome.
I feel like there's probably I feel like it's a high energy kind of place. Yeah, so that's without a doubt, that's what I would do.
Perfect, perfect. Here's really important, especially for a lot of people on this call right now. What advice would you give to a brand new dealer opening up with $10,000? What was the first thing you would tell them to concentrate on their very first month?
Building inventory. But what I would do is so are you saying like you have all your ducks in a row and 10 grand or just 10 grand?
I'm excited. I'm motivated. I've done all the work. I've done everything I got. I saved $10,000. I got to get an office. I got to get some furniture. I got to get my inventory. That's what I have. I'm opening on Monday. After I got my inventory, I got 2,000 in the bank. What should I do Monday? What should I do? This their first 30 days is so important.
Okay. First thing I would do is I would find someone to work with, unless if you already had someone to work with, and I would just start multiplying people. I'd play catch up for probably 2 to 3 months, like what I did, and I would develop 1 or 2 really, really good people, and then I would just multiply.
Fantastic. No, that's good. That's good. That's good. It's good advice. Okay, what is your favorite movie and why? If you have a favorite movie.
Yeah, favorite movie and why? Probably The Butterfly Effect. And I don't know if this is a reason why, but I just like the movie. I think it's I don't know. People have probably seen that movie. So he tries to go back and rearrange the past and try to make it better, but every single time he just screws it up. So I think the way things play out in life sometimes, they either teach you a lesson or you get wiped out. But I think, I don't know if I believe in this quote, but I think things happen for a reason.
Yeah. There you go. It's funny because, for you to say that, because we had Chris Roberts on here yesterday, and he referred to the butterfly effect as well. So
yeah,
it's obviously it's a very impactful movie.
Crazy.
Here's a really good question that someone asked.
It's crazy.
What is go ahead. Go ahead.
The smallest little thing can make the biggest difference, and we don't realize it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. People face things every day that can change in one direction or another. And it's just a kind word or a positive statement or a little bit of knowledge or reading the right paragraph. Absolutely. What is your structure? This is a good question someone asked. What is your structure for part-time people? And most importantly, how do you handle last-minute unavailability?
Okay. So this is an ongoing battle, to be honest. Our structure, you would think our structure is good. It is awful. It is just awful. All right. So what we try to do is we try to make sure they come to a minimum of 1 meeting per week, 1 sales meeting per week. And that could be our 11:30 a.m. meeting, Monday to Friday. That could be our Saturday morning, 9 a.m. We try to do a meeting every single Wednesday or Thursday at 6 p.m. Okay. And we usually just go through a part of the demo, like the walkthrough or like alarm kill or like closing or objections or calling referrals or calling personals or something like that. And then what was the second part, sir, to that question?
Okay. And how do you handle last minute unavailability?
You don't. You just get on the phone and you call some other part-timers and be like, hey, I got an appointment here. This is where it is. Can you do it? That's what you got to do. Because there's no real schedule. Like we try to get a schedule from them, but lots of our part-time reps, they book their own appointments, so they're kind of, it's a lot different than the full-time program where you say what days are you going to work, you commit to these days, we book you the appointments. So usually with the part-timers, it's just management trying to get on the phone 2 hours before the demo while they're still at their other job, and we're just trying to get them on some other appointments that we have.
Right.
So I don't think there's a real way to deal with it. It's a piss off sometimes, but
just patience.
Just patience.
Okay. What would you think is your percentage of your business is part-time sales from part-timers?
50%.
Okay. So if you didn't work weekends, how much would that change?
Well, on average, we usually do about 20 to 25 a week, pretty consistently. So that would put us down to 12 or 13 protections a week.
Okay, so if you weren't open on Saturday and Sunday, you'd lose half your production.
Typically, yes.
Okay, that's a good answer. Okay, here's a really good question. Why do you think dealers and managers need to be energetic around the office, and how do you keep your energy so high?
Okay, so the main reason I think managers and people that work in the office need to be high energy is because your people need to see that you're having fun. It needs to be fun. I think it's good for morale. I think it shows that things are happening. I mean, even if it's a slow day and you have good energy in the office, I mean, it kind of gets some momentum going, and it's kind of infectious. So other people, they tend to be more high energy, and it just creates a better atmosphere, in my opinion.
And how do you keep your energy so high?
Another thing why you need to be high energy is because when you're a manager, you deal with a lot of stuff that isn't pretty all the time. Like, I don't know, customers call it in, reps problems, just the stresses of the day. So I think if you don't have high energy and you deal with all these things, you're just going to get pissed off and frustrated, and we all know where that goes.
Absolutely awesome. That's a really good answer. Thank you for that. Now, final question. Where do you see your business in 5 years?
Where do I see my business in 5 years? 2024. What I see is 20 dealers all across Canada, one in every single province, plus a couple other ones.
What do you think? This is a game of risk?
Pardon me?
What do you think? This is a game of risk, total domination?
I don't know. I never played that, but and I see my office, wherever my main office hub is, we'll probably have like 150, 200 reps and probably like 4 managers. You'll walk in there, it'll be like a massive firm.
Wonder where we've seen that before.
I don't know where we've seen that, but
that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time today. Really, really great answers. It's some great questions there, and hopefully everybody got a chance to get to know you a little bit better and realize to see what makes it tick to be #1 in the world. Tomorrow's guest speaker is going to be Mr. David Carter. So if anybody has some questions, please send me those questions. We can ask David Carter. Today's contest is going to be for this book right here. Probably one of the greatest books I ever read. And it's called The Leader Who Had No Title. The Leader Who Had No Title. And there's going to be 2 books up. Now, the first book is going to go up to the person who answers these questions first on our international link messenger that we report our sales on. So the questions are, on Global Peak Training, there's 4 boards. What are their names? Number 2, what is the record for Brett for a month in orders? Okay. Number 3, how long did it take for him to become a dealer? In what year did he become a dealer? Those are the questions. Answer those questions, no problem. The second book is for a riddle. It's a really simple riddle, but we'll see who can get it. Whoever answers this is going to be a separate answer. What is the tallest building in your city? The right answer will get, who answers that riddle will also get a book. Let's have a fantastic day. Don't forget the Global Peak training call in 35 minutes. David Carter's on tomorrow. We're going to have a great fun time tomorrow. Brett, thank you so much for that. That's absolutely awesome. Let's have a fantastic day. Let's rock and roll, boys and girls. Let's keep her smiling.